Welcome to today's webinar, Turnip the Beet, Recognizing High-Quality Meals Served in Summer Meal Programs. My name is Vanika Stewart, and I'm a program analyst with the USDA Food and Nutrition Service, and I currently work on child nutrition programs at the national office. I will be your host for the webinar, and I'm also joined by Emily Delahanty, who is also a program analyst with child nutrition, and Andrea Farmer, the branch chief of the Community Meals Division. Before we begin, I'd like to go over two logistical points. In the bottom left-hand corner of the web tool, you will see a chat box. You can use the chat box at any time during the presentation to ask your questions. We'll address as many as possible at the end of the presentation, as we've reserved some time for a Q&A session. Finally, today's webinar is being recorded and it will be made available as a webcast. We'll send out a notification on PartnerWeb when the webcast is available. So let's get started. USDA's Food and Nutrition Service is very excited to launch the third year of the Turnip the Beet Awards. The program has been very successful for the last 2 years, and we look forward to hosting it again this year. The Turnip the Beet Award recognizes outstanding summer meal program sponsors across the nation who work hard to offer high-quality meals that are appetizing, appealing, and nutritious during the summer months. We hope that this award will further encourage sponsors to take additional steps to go above and beyond the meal pattern requirements to ensure that children are receiving optimal benefit from the meals that they're served. We've laid out some evaluation criteria for the Turnip the Beet Award, and these criteria can really serve as a roadmap for sponsors to improve meal quality and, hopefully, improve participation rates at their sites. Last year, we had 111 sponsors earn Turnip the Beet Awards. We are pleased to say that this is more than a two-fold increase over 2016's 49 sponsors, and we're hoping to increase that number even further this year. This award is open to all sponsors who are in good standing with the state agency, and there are 3 award levels available: bronze, silver, and gold. So think of it as something like the Summer Meal Olympics. We officially announced the Turnip the Beet Awards on August 1st via PartnerWeb. At that time, an overview handout and a nomination form were also posted on the Turnip the Beet webpage. In today's webinar, I will provide some details about the evaluation criteria and scoring, which we have slightly revised from last year based on your feedback. I'll also discuss the prizes, the nomination process, including your role as a state agency in the application process, and also next steps. Please note that your participation in the Turnip the Beet Award is completely voluntary, but we do hope that today's webinar will provide you with the information that you need in order to participate. So first, let's talk about who is eligible for the award. All summer meal program sponsors, including Summer Food Service Program, SFSP, sponsors, and the National School Lunch Program, NSLP, Seamless Summer Option, SSO, sponsors may be eligible for the Turnip the Beet Award. And, of course, nominated sponsors must be in compliance with all SFSP or NSLP SSO regulations as applicable. We'd also like to note that meeting the award criteria does not replace any SFSP or NSLP SSO requirements. Nominated sponsors are required to be in good standing with the SFSP or NSLP SSO. This means that the sponsor had no major findings or program violations or completed and implemented all corrective actions from the last compliance review. Also, it means that they were not found seriously deficient in the past 2 years at the time of the nomination, and that they've never been terminated from the summer meal programs. If you, as a state agency, do choose to participate in Turnip the Beet, it will be your responsibility to verify that the sponsor is in good standing with the program. But we'll go over that process in a few minutes. All right, so we talked a bit about the need for high-quality summer meals. Now let's talk about some of the ways to make sure that a meal is high quality. We'll start with the steps to an appealing and appetizing meal. So first, menu variety. Serving a menu with some variety through the summer so that children don't get tired of meals day after day, week after week. And then next, we want to look at choices. So that's providing options for various meal components so that children get to make some choices about their meals. Also, Offering meals that are pleasing to the eye is important for high-quality meals. So this can include building a menu that has a lot of colors and textures, because remember, we eat with our eyes first. Also, offering meals that are appropriate for the needs of the community. So for example, if a summer sponsor site is in an area with a diverse ethnic population, it's, of course, advantageous to try to offer meals that are appropriate for the groups within that ethnic population. Additionally, serving meals that are age appropriate is also key for high-quality foods. Sponsors need to think about the age of the children that they're serving and where they might be developmentally. So for example, if a summer site draws younger children, then it would be a good idea to try to serve an apple cut up into small chunks rather than a large whole apple. And finally, trying to serve hot items when possible. So for instance, a menu could include a warm panini sandwich, some fresh fruit, salad, milk, and we realize that serving hot items is not feasible at all summer sites, so sites that have limited facilities for food preparation can still be successful in serving high-quality meals by serving a variety of cold meals that are appropriate for the participants. Now, onto the nutritional aspects. For many children, the meal that they receive at a summer site may be the only meal they eat that entire day, making it even more important that the summer meals contain as many essential nutrients that children need for growth and wellness as possible. So components of a nutritional meal may include whole grains, whole vegetables and fruit, so that is the actual vegetables and fruits rather than their respective juices, and also low-fat or fat-free dairy, including milk, and also lean protein sources. The evaluation criteria for the Turnip the Beet Award is based on these factors, which all stem from the recommendations found in the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. So now on to the evaluation criteria. In order to win a Turnip the Beet Award, sponsors must demonstrate that meals that they serve are 1, appetizing, 2, appealing, and 3, nutritious. FNS will evaluate this in 2 ways. So first, through responses to short answer questions, and second, through a review of the menu as well as some supporting documentation. So, the short answer section replaced the narrative section in 2017, and we've continued using that section in this year's 2018 application. Also, we heard from several states that more clarification on what FNS was looking for was needed. So we've attempted to address that concern on the nomination form. We've modified the language of certain questions for clarity, and next to each short answer question, you'll see that we've included instructions on examples of the type of information that we're seeking. So sponsors are also welcome to submit additional supporting materials in order to strengthen their application. But we have limited the number of supporting documentation that sponsors may send to 5. And I'll also go over that in a little more detail regarding the documentation and nominations in a moment. So first, we'll go over the short answer questions. Sponsors can earn up to 2 points on each of these. So question number 1 asks, how are the meals appropriate for the needs of the community? And with this, we're asking for a description of how meals are appropriate for the demographics of the community that sponsors serve. So that would include race, ethnicity, and religion of the population being served, including traditional foods. So for example, traditional Native community foods such as wild rice and bison are offered at a site that's attended by Native American children, or alternatives to pork would be served at sites that are attended by children who are Muslim or Jewish. The second question asks, how are the meals prepared to be age appropriate for the population being served? So here we're asking for a description of how the meals served are appropriate for the children of the age group that's being served by that site. For example, the food is cut into bite-sized pieces for young children, or the sponsor offers different meals to appeal to various age groups that attend the site. So again, we're thinking about where the children who will be consuming the meal are developmentally and what would be manageable for them. The third question asks, are taste tests, surveys, or other methods used to gather feedback from children about the meals being served at the summer sites? And we're simply asking for a description of any methods that are used to gather feedback from the participants. All right, and on to question number 4. How are children encouraged to eat healthy foods? And so we're asking folks to describe how eating healthy foods is promoted. So for example, fun descriptors that might be used in menus and signage, or healthier choices that are placed prominently in the service area to encourage consumption. And so, for example, this picture is actually from a sponsor that encouraged their students to eat healthy foods by having the children help to grow the foods themselves in an on-site garden. Question number 5. What, if any, food and nutrition-based activities are offered at the summer sites? And so we're asking for activities such as My Plate activities, cooking, local foods, gardening, farming, or other food and nutrition topics. And finally, we have a bonus question asking whether any team nutrition resources are used at the site. And of course here we would like sponsors or whoever's completing the nomination form to list which resources were used. And sponsors can earn up to 3 points for the use of these resources. Now let's talk about the second part of the evaluation, the menu. Sponsors must submit a 1-month menu. If a sponsor manages sites that are operating for less than 1 month, say 3 weeks, they should submit their menus for the entire time that they operated. The criteria that we're using to evaluate the menus was updated slightly from last year, mainly to provide more clarity. Each of these are worth 1 point toward the final score, but the bonus criteria are worth 2 points. So first, locally produced vegetables are evaluated as to whether or not they were served as part of the reimbursable meal and promoted as local foods at least 1 time per week per meal type. So for example, if a summer site serves a breakfast and a lunch, a local food is served and promoted at a minimum of 1 breakfast meal and 1 lunch meal per week. And as a bonus, seasonal food activities are also offered at the summer site, and these activities can include a nutrition education lesson about seasonal foods, cooking demonstrations with seasonal foods, organized gardening activities, or even, say, hosting a local farmer at a summer site. So things along those lines. Next, we evaluate the entrees. And we're looking to see that entrees repeat 2 times or less per month, sort of indicating an emphasis on variety. And as a bonus, the menu includes at least 1 hot food item per week. Then next, we're looking to evaluate whether meals include a variety of colors and flavors such as tart, sweet, spicy, savory, sour, bitter, umami, those types of flavors, and also textures such as crunchy, juicy, chewy, soft. And then we want to look at variety, sort of continuing that theme of variety from the last criterion. We're looking to see whether a wide variety of vegetables and fruits are served throughout the week. And as a bonus, at least 1 serving of dark green vegetables, red and orange vegetables, beans and peas, legumes, starchy vegetables, and other vegetables are served each week. And an additional bonus of the majority of vegetables that are served are fresh. Next, we're looking to see whether at least half of the grains served are whole grain rich. So that is, they contain 100% whole grains or contains at least 50% whole grains, and the remaining grains in the food are enriched. Next, we evaluate sweet grains. So sweet grains can include cookies, cakes, brownies, fruit turnovers, donuts, toaster pastries, or sweet rolls. And we're looking to see that they're served 2 or fewer times per meal type per week. So that means if a summer site serves breakfast and a snack, a sweet grain is served at no more than 2 breakfast meals and 2 snacks per week. And as a bonus, sweet grains are not served at all. Next, we evaluate whether only 1% or fat-free dairy products, including milk, yogurt, or cheese, are served. But if 1-year-old children attend the site, they are served whole milk. And finally, we look at whether water is available at no cost. So again, a menu must be submitted with the nomination packet. The menu that is submitted should be fairly detailed because this will allow FNS to understand exactly what's being served. So menus should describe whether vegetables and fruit are fresh, frozen, canned, or dried, and should identify any whole grain rich and local food items. And they should also specify the type of milk being served. We'd also like for the menu to indicate whether water is available at no cost. So please, please, please include this. At the end of the nomination form, we provided a sample menu to help you and sponsors understand how detailed the menus need to be. So here, taking a look at the sample menu, you'll see that it indicates whole grain items, as well as the type of milk that's served, and how fruit and vegetables are prepared. It also supplements the short response section by showing that the menu has fun, age-appropriate descriptors such as Rise and Shine Parfait. Also, the menu clearly shows that water is available to the participants at no cost. Sponsors may also choose to add supporting documents to their nomination packets. So these documents can include things like photos of the meals or of the program operating, news articles, or other press about the summer site, and or invoices of food purchases. The supporting documents are optional, but we'd love to see and hear more about the great things that are happening at these summer sites. We do, however, ask that sponsors limit the number of documents that they send to no more than 5 per nomination packet. So the nominations will be scored based on the following. So short answers are worth 0 to 10 points. Sponsors can receive up to 2 points per question and can also receive 3 bonus points to bring the total for the short response section up to 13 when they demonstrate their use of team nutrition resources at the summer sites. Then the menu criteria is scored on a range of 0 to 18 points, and sponsors can receive 1 point per criterion met and 2 points per bonus criteria. It's also worth mentioning that an award-winning application does not have to meet all of the criteria. So with that being said, how many points does a sponsor need to win a Turnip the Beet award? So again, an award-winning application does not need to meet all of the criteria. There are 3 award levels, and each award level has a range of points that sponsors can receive to qualify for that level. So sponsors are able to miss points on the score sheet and still qualify for an award. 10 to 17 points qualify for a bronze award. Those sponsors earning 18 to 25 points qualify for a silver award, and those sponsors that earn 26 to 31 points earn a gold award. Now, beyond bragging rights, there are special recognitions tied to each award level. Bronze, silver, and gold award winners will be featured in USDA's Food and Nutrition Services summer newsletter and receive a certificate. Silver and gold winners will be featured on USDA's blog, and gold award winners are identified as Turnip the Beet winners on the FNS Capacity Builder. So now that we've discussed the criteria for winning an award, let's discuss the nomination and review process, including your role as state agencies. So first, state agencies will need to let their FNS regional office know that they intend to participate in the Turnip the Beet Award by August 31st, 2018. Once the office is notified, state agencies can start to collect nominations. Sponsors can nominate themselves, or they can be nominated by a third party such as an advocacy group. Sponsors or other parties nominating a sponsor must fill out the nomination form and submit it to the sponsor state agency. Along with submitting a nomination form, the sponsor or third party must submit a 1-month menu. As I mentioned before, supporting documents may be included as well. The nomination form is available on PartnerWeb and FNS's Turnip the Beet website, and I will provide a link to the web address in a moment. Once all the nomination forms and menus are submitted, state agencies are responsible for verifying that the nominated sponsors are in good standing with the program. So as I described earlier, that means that the sponsor had no major findings and program violations, or they completed and implemented all corrective actions from the last compliance review, and they were not found seriously deficient in the past 2 years at the time of the nomination, and that they have never been terminated from the summer meal programs. The state agency section of the nomination form is on page 4. This is where you'll approve a nomination and verify that a sponsor is in good standing. To improve a nomination, please first make sure that the application the sponsor submitted is complete, meaning the nomination form is entirely filled out and they submitted a menu. Second, and most importantly, you'll verify that the sponsor being nominated is in good standing with the program. Once you've done that, please do not forget to sign the form. It can be an electronic or a hand signature. Nominations that are not verified and signed by the agency won't be eligible for an award. There's also a space for you to endorse a sponsor that's being nominated. If the sponsor has won any other awards related to meal quality that you're aware of, this is a space to let FNS know. You know the sponsors in your state best, so we definitely want to hear what you have to say. So, to summarize, a complete nomination includes a fully completed nomination form and a 1-month menu. Sponsors and other parties may also submit news clips, photos, testimonials, invoices of local food purchases, or other documents that they feel help demonstrate the high quality of the meals that they serve. But again, we ask that the number of supporting documents per nomination be limited to 5. So here, I've included a link to the Turnip the Beet webpage, and this page includes a bit of history as well as an award overview, which is basically everything that I've covered here today. There's also a one-pager for distribution, pictured in miniature here, and links to a variety of resources that can help sponsors plan and serve high-quality meals, all on the webpage. So, what are the next steps? Well, participating in Turnip the Beet is voluntary, so if you're jazzed about promoting high-quality meals in summer, contact your regional office as soon as possible to let them know that you're participating in the 2018 Turnip the Beet Awards. We ask that you notify your regional office, again, by August 31st, which is just a couple short weeks away. Once you've decided that you're participating, make sure to set a deadline for your sponsors to submit their nomination forms to you. Then, spread the word. It is the state's responsibility to inform their sponsors about Turnip the Beet. Please share the Turnip the Beet webpage or handout and the nomination form with your sponsors. These forms, again, are available on PartnerWeb and on the FNS website. Next, you'll review and verify the nominations you receive, assuring that they're complete and that sponsors are in good standing. Finally, you will need to send all of the nominations to your regional office by November 16th, 2018. And that brings us to the end of today's presentation, and we have some time for questions. So please go to the bottom left-hand corner of the webinar tool and use the chat box to submit your questions. If you have any additional questions after the webinar or during the process, please refer them to your regional office. All right, we'll be back in a moment with answers to questions. Okay, so I just wanted to answer some of the questions that we have gotten so far. So we had a question about the difference between a sponsor being in compliance and being in good standing. So the nominated sponsors are required to be in good standing with the Summer Food Service Program as well as the National School Lunch Seamless Summer Option. And so that just means that the sponsor had no major findings or program violations, or that they completed and implemented all corrective actions from their last compliance review. And it also means that they were not found seriously deficient in the past 2 years at the time that they're being nominated, and that they've never been terminated from the summer meal program. Then we also had a question about whether or not state agencies can set their own deadline for submissions from sponsors, and the answer is absolutely yes. Once you've notified your regional office on August 31st, 2018, then go ahead and set your deadlines and start collecting those nomination forms. And the next question that we got asked if there would be a chance that we could determine the winners any earlier than spring. So we are definitely going to make every effort to get it done as soon as possible. But the speed at which we are able to select the winners is somewhat reliant on how many nominations that we get. But we are definitely going to try to get through them and get those winners out as soon as we can. And then finally, we had a question about a sponsor that has maybe different menus depending on whether their site is indoor or outdoor. And you can definitely submit menus submit menus and nomination form for whatever sites that you wish to nominate for the award. So I hope that answers those questions, but feel free to follow up in the chat box if you need more clarification. And we're still accepting questions. All right, just joining you guys again to answer a few more questions here. So we received a question about whether a state agency can nominate sponsors, and the answer is yes. A state agency can absolutely nominate sponsors for the award. We also had a couple of questions asking whether you can select certain sites under a particular sponsor for an award, and the answer is yes. So the award is given to a sponsor for particular sites. So if you'd like to nominate, say, multiple sites, you absolutely can. But you do need to fill out a form for each site. And then we also had a question about whether the supporting documents also includes the menu, and the answer is no. You are allowed to submit your menu and then up to 5 supporting documents for each nomination packet. All right, and that's all of the questions that we've got for now, and we will be back with you all to answer additional ones if we get them. All right, so we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for more questions, so feel free to type them into the chat box. All right, so we've got a couple more questions here. So one question asked whether sponsors with multiple menus and differing activities at different sites would have to fill out multiple questionnaires for the different menus and activities they offer at those sites. And the answer is yes. And as a result, yes, that does mean that one sponsor could potentially receive 2 different levels of the award. So yes, for each site that you nominate, you're going to want to fill out a separate nomination form, even if it is under the same sponsor. All right, so as just a last note before we wrap up, just want to remind you guys one more time of those very important dates coming up. So on August 31st, you're going to want to reach, or by August 31st rather, you're going to want to reach out to your regional office to let them know whether your state will be participating in the Turnip the Beet Awards. And after that, you can go ahead and set your own deadlines for collecting those nomination forms from any of those sponsors or any advocacy agencies that would be nominating those sponsors, or even state agencies that want to nominate sponsors and sites. And finally, go ahead and send all your nomination forms, those menus, supporting documents, over to your regional office by November 16th, 2018. All right, and that is all from us. Thank you so much for participating in today's webinar. We always appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen, and we hope that this was helpful and has inspired you to participate in the 2018 Turnip the Beet Award program and recognize the work that summer meal program sponsors are putting into making their meals appealing and appetizing and nutritious. So yes, with that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.